Hi, Joe Smiles here. So today I'm going to talk about morning fasted workouts and what you need to know about them. As you can see from these video clips, I have sub 8% body fat, 24/7, 365 days of the year, and I don't do morning fasted workouts. So people think that when you fast in the morning and work out, you lose more weight. But what happens is you have more free fatty acids in your bloodstream, but that doesn't equate to losing more body fat off your body. It's also really important to note that your free fatty acids in your bloodstream aren't coming necessarily from your stored adipose tissue. They're coming from the dietary fat that you had the night before. Likewise, the same thing is your glycogen stores are coming from, and your glucose are coming from the amount of carbohydrate-rich meal that you had the day before your morning fasted cardio or weight training. Also, exercising on an empty stomach makes you feel rough, makes you hungry, makes you not be able to perform as well. So normally you don't expend as much energy output when you're exercising on fasted, as opposed to you've had something quickly immediately before or within an hour of exercising in the morning. So if you do work out fasted, it's important to make sure that you eat directly after training, because you want to make use of muscle protein synthesis after training and avoid the muscle protein breakdown from not eating before exercising. So you want to put your bloodstream and your body in a state of hyper amino acidemic state. You want your amino acids in your bloodstream as soon as you can to promote exercising, to get rid of exercise-induced muscle damage and increase the healing process of your muscles. Also, it's really important, and people always forget this, you want to consume carbohydrates after training. This is because eating carbohydrates replenishes, firstly, muscle glycogen storage. Secondly, carbs increases insulin, and so does protein, and insulin receptors lock onto carbs and amino acids and take them to the muscles to be used for energy and healing, which then increases muscle protein synthesis. And three, carbs stop your body from breaking down muscle and using other energy sources, which is called gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is when you use non-carbohydrate fuels like protein and fats, glycerol and amino acids to be converted into energy for you to do exercise. Okay, so I could be talking a load of nonsense, but let me back up what I'm saying with 4 studies, just so that you know. So study 1, 2023, looked at the effects of fasted and fed exercise on energy intake, energy expenditure, and subjective hunger. Forgive me for looking down at my notes on these. It was a systematic review of 17 studies. The fasted with no meal after working out group had a significantly lower energy expenditure versus the fed before workout group with no meal after group. Same group. And hunger was significantly higher in the fasted workout group than the fed. So this basically means that when you're fasting, you're expending less energy, if you know it or not, and you're potentially making yourself more hungry later on in the day, which then can lead to you making poorer dietary decisions. Study 2, 2014, looked at if aerobic exercise after overnight fasting accelerates loss of body fat over 4 weeks with 1 hour of aerobic training 3 times a week in 20 females. Half were randomly assigned to being fasted, the other half were in a fed training group. Both groups lost significant amounts of body fat, regardless of whether or not they were fasted prior to training. So forget fasting before training. Study 3, 2013, investigated HIIT training, fasted and fed, on body composition in overweight and obese people, predominantly women. There was no difference between the fed and the fasted groups for measurements of body composition, muscle oxidative capacity, that's to your muscles uptake oxygen for then developing ATP and energy, and glycemic control. So it didn't affect how your body reacts to releasing insulin and taking up and controlling your blood glucose. And study 4, 2018, examined the role of protein hyperaminoacidemia, which I spoke about earlier, to increase amino acids in your bloodstream and increase muscle protein synthesis, they found that in light of increasing amino acidemia, the body can only use about so much to build and repair muscle. Once you consume about 20 grams of protein per meal, adding more protein doesn't necessarily mean your body can make more muscle or build more muscle, even though you can consume larger amounts of protein in a sitting. So for example, if you ate 40 grams of protein, your body won't build significantly more muscle compared to if you had eaten 20 grams in one sitting. And it's more important to have around 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal spaced out every 3 hours to fully optimize muscle protein synthesis throughout the day and therefore get muscle growth throughout the day. So a light meal before and within an hour of working out with some protein, about 10% protein, 50% carbs and a bit of fat, will help with your training performance and it will reduce muscle breakdown. Hope you found it interesting. If you did, like the video, make any comments you want, and I'll see you in the next video and have a great day.